Zeg Boris, wat ben je aan het doen?
Ik heb een droom. Die droom bestaat uit post-its en het plafond. En daar ben ik nu al een uurtje mee bezig. En de jonge mus is bij die kant bezig van het kantoor. Zoals je kan zien. Ik ben de apprentice. De leerling van Boris, die een droom heeft. Hey Donnie, ik wil eigenlijk van de gelegenheid gebruik maken om een aankondiging te doen. En wel een aankondiging voor een item wat ik heb opgenomen op de Leipzig Games Conventie. Een interview met de meester zelf, mijn persoonlijk grote held, the one and only, never lonely, Sid Meier.
I've got a question. I saw Civilization Revolution yesterday, and what I'm always fascinated about with the games that you make is that you have a completely different approach to game design. Can you tell me something about that?
Well, I'm a game player, I think, and so when I design a game, I spend a lot of my time playing the game, and I like to see new things. I like to try new things. I think most gamers are looking for something new, something creative. So with Civilization Revolution, we're really trying to introduce Civilization to almost a new generation of players who maybe haven't played Civilization before. So we wanted the game to be exciting to look at, fun to listen to, fun to watch. A little bit of humor in the game, nice and colorful, dramatic battles, you know, something that would really be a lot of fun for people to start playing. Because we know that once people play Civilization for a little while, they can't stop. So we just got to get them started. And with the next generation graphics and things like that, we think people will just take a look at it, start playing, and then they won't be able to put it down.
You've always struck me as someone who doesn't rely too heavily on graphics. I mean, it's the concept. You once told me the player is the star. Can you tell something about how that works in Revolution?
We always think gameplay is the most important part of any of our games. I mean, that's the one thing that's very unique about computer games is you're playing a game, you get to make the decisions, the player is the star of the game. So graphics are there to help explain what's going on, make the game entertaining and fun to look at. But the Civilization Revolution has all the classic Civilization gameplay. You can be a military leader, you can make diplomacy with other kings, you can win by having the most money, you can win by making great people. So there's a lot of different ways to win the game. Each of the 16 civilizations is unique, has different abilities, plays very differently. So the gameplay is just fantastic. But it moves very fast as a console game. We know people want to play a little faster. They can't sit in the living room and take up the television for 20 hours, so you can play in 2, 3, 4 hours. We're also adding a lot of multiplayer play to the game with the networks, the Xbox Live, the PlayStation Home. There's a lot of support for multiplayer play, so we're adding some new multiplayer modes. For us, gameplay is first, but we love the graphics capabilities and the sound capabilities and the networking capabilities of the new hardware, and we want to take advantage of that.
Do you think you actually find a new audience with next-gen consoles instead of PCs?
We really think that this is introducing Civilization to a whole new generation of game players. Console players that may not have played a strategy game before, but they're just about ready for strategy. They've played the shooters, they've played the platformers, they've played the racing games. Maybe now it's time for a strategy game, something new. So we've made the game easy to start playing. There's a tutorial built into the game. There's advisors to give you advice about how to play. The map is very easy to understand. The units are very different and easy to understand. So we want you to start playing and feel comfortable, and pretty soon you'll be inventing new technologies and conquering the world.
All right. A question about the state of the industry in general. What do you think about the next-gen console wars? What do you think about Xbox versus PlayStation, or the type of games that are coming out right now?
I think it's a great time to be a game player. I mean, the new consoles we're just starting to see what can be done with them. There are a couple of great games on each of the consoles, but we know that coming up for the next 6 months, a year, there's going to be a lot more great games. The Wii is very creative, very new, very innovative. We're seeing a lot of new kinds of games on the Wii. The DS has been very popular. Again, a lot of creative new games. I think it's a wonderful time to be a gamer. The PC, still a lot of good stuff being done there. We just want to make sure people know we're not stopping the PC. We're still making PC games, but we're just adding console gaming to our games.
Do you see a future for PC, and what is the future of PC gaming?
I think there's a bright future for PC right now. World of Warcraft obviously is showing everybody what can be done with PC. It's still the most connected, interactive, networked platform, and we're seeing that with massively multiplayer games. We're also seeing with things like Steam, smaller games on the PC, downloadable games. PC is still the only place where players can make their own scenarios, their own mods, and exchange them with each other. So there's a lot of things that are still very special about the PC world.
What I always love about the games that you make is the vibe, the graphics. Like there's always a comical style to it. There's always fun. Like I grew up playing Pirates. Do you ever consider making an MMO in that sort of universe?
We're very interested in the idea of MMOs. They're quite expensive to make, and there's a lot of good ones out there. So I think until we have the right idea, the right circumstances, we'll wait for that. But it's certainly an area that we are interested in, and we're looking at.
What sort of games do you play besides your own games?
I enjoy a lot of the new games that are out there. Company of Heroes, I spend a lot of time with. I like racing games like Forza, Gran Turismo, games like that. I played Resistance when it came out for the PlayStation. MotorStorm was a fun PlayStation game. Midnight Club, I enjoyed that. So I like a lot of the new console games.
And the Wii, I mean, are you guys going to do anything with the Wii?
We're making a Revolution for the Wii. That'll come out a little later next year. And the Wii games, I've played them. Probably just the ones that came with the console, the tennis and golf. They're just fun when the people get together and they can all take turns.
The reason I ask is because one of the big problems with RTS games or strategy games on a console is the way to command all these units. I mean, the Wii can offer you actually something new.
Yes, it does help. And Civilization, being a turn-based game, is actually easier to control with the console controller than the real-time games. I think that's one of the reasons that we did it on the console, and it's easy to play because it's turn-based and you don't have to be jumping everywhere all the time. It's kind of hard on the console controller.
I've played a lot of Civilization, and I've always known that all my games, they always go towards the same ending. Somebody reaches Centauri, and that's it. And I always felt like empty after that ending. I mean, did you ever consider doing something different with that?
Well, we have to stop somewhere. There's not really a good place to stop. So we decided kind of the present is the place where we have to stop. But we actually had, of course, an Alpha Centauri game a number of years ago that took the story further. But we think staying on the Earth is a good, it's chapter 1, and then maybe someday there'll be a chapter 2. But we have to stop somewhere, and that seemed to be the right place.
Okay. I see it. Is there going to be any chance of a new Pirates game?
Pirates is one of our favorite games, and we've got a lot that we're working on right now with Revolution. But I appreciate your asking, and someday maybe, I don't know.
Well, I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thanks. Cool, man. Thanks.
We zijn ongeveer op een kwart van het kantoor. We hebben nog een boel post-it notes over, dus morgen gaan we verder. En voor nu hoop ik dat jullie genoten hebben van het interview met Sid Meier. Want dat heb ik wel. Het is zelfs een beetje emotioneel.